leading this TSF2, Formula 2 in JW Wolf, currently filling out the WTC race car this evening, so that'll be a mainstay for Wolf. The dry line is starting to show here at the moment, as you can see the point of view here from Dubai. There definitely is a dry line showing. If you have a look at the rain bar off to the left there, the tyres, the tyre degradation bar just at the bottom left of the screen there, you can kind of see the water gauge and it's slowly coming down. So, oh, a big spin there by Von Duvet. Very, very hard. I watched the rejoin there. Just up there by Hunter. Watch that. Anyway, let's anyway, there's a very narrow line here. Very narrow line. Not only are you trying to get in the best part of the track possible with the amount of grip tape is required, but there's a lot of things to watch out for. You've got wet curves, especially the actual turf here. Remember, it's large and can be quite deadly, especially in rainy conditions. WTC jumps into P1 on the 1 minute 47. So can he get a pole in his mains debut, which he already has a few times in the Super Formula 2 series? Up by 1.3 seconds, so it just goes to show that there's consistency and pace all coming into the package there to make that lap time local. So we'll be wrapped with that. And preparation as well. And heavily purple again, so it looks like they're changing conditions here. To go to the top on 1 minute 47.1. So it looks like some of these people that might have not gotten an outlap might not be able to get another lap in, but JW still on the flyer. Ward will get another lap in. Glad to see that's across the finish line here. But it looks like it's going to be whoever's come out last, whoever's finishing their last lap. Guitars that goes top on the 1 minute 45.6. So the conditions playing such a pivotal role in this evening's qualifying session. So you want to catch the driest conditions, so JW might as well go pole here again, and he does by a second and a half almost there. So whoever's finishing their last lap is going to be a strong candidate to grab pole position regardless of who wins. So I can see Ward's on the lap, someone else up ahead of him is on the lap 2. I'm not too sure if that was Hunter or Palmer. I did see someone ahead was on the lap there as well. Get some lap times. Hunter without a legitimate time as of yet, so he may sense the drying conditions. Hunter currently the last row of the grid. This will be massive if he can't improve in his time. We'll have to see where he falls up as he crosses the line and goes second behind the debutant JW. Ward is going to come across the line and finish third. We've got one more in the back of the screen there as well on the lap. Too sure who that might be. Ollie's about to finish lap here as well. We'll have to see where Doswell comes up here as well. And unable to improve. So ladies and gentlemen, debutant in Wolf, currently leading Formula 2 Championship, filling in for Ando. Let's take a pole position by just under half a second from the current series leader in Hunter. So fantastic job there by Wolf. Managed the changing conditions and put in a mega time. Just goes to show the raw talent he has available. That is a mega job by Wolf. So we'll run through order here for you, ladies and gentlemen. So Wolf taking up pole position in a mega debutant job. Reminds me of Zach Best at the Vent, Howland Park a couple of years currently holding P2 in the championship. He's already got a win to his name this season. It's hard to tell where everyone is at pace at the moment. Like, as I did mention, the rainy conditions were definitely playing a part. He started off quite heavy rain, and then it just kind of faltered towards the end there. And we did see some people chuck on the intermediate tyres. So I might just go back to the order if we can. Just run through the order there. So looks like Pitarso has held out 4th position there for Mash Spuds Racing and a 1 minute 45.6. So not too far off what JW did. He was one of the last flyers there as well. You can see here in the chat as well, we've got some of the guys on Duvet getting around JW for a fantastic performance there to grab pole position. Good to see you 5th position Breeder for Kiwi Pit Lane, followed by Josh Green in 6th position for CP Motorsports, Von Duvet in 7th for WTC Racing, the Scut Boys in 8th and 9th respectively for WRT Racing, Doswell in 10th for Mash Spuds Racing, Palmer in 11th for ITSFR Racing, and Campbell in 12th for CP Motorsports. So wow, that was a mega qualifying session there. And the rain's going to play such a massive role in this, so we'll have to see how people handle it. So we'll just take a quick break here for a couple minutes, and then we'll follow back up getting ready for race 5, round 5, the Japanese Grand Prix for Formula Track Stars. So I'm not too sure if Luke can hear me. Might just grab up the rest of the order if we can. We'll just run through the remaining competitors after P12. Just can't see it on the screen at the moment. There we go. Okay, so we ran through the top 8 there. So we have the LJ for Kiwi Pit Lane on a 1 minute 53 in 13th position. And Curry hasn't really been able to put a time in. We'll fill out the last position and 14th for this evening's race. And Curry's already been pretty strong so far in this year's championship. He's currently got a couple podiums to his name, but did miss round 3 at Red Bull Ring. So Hamza will fill out the front row here, and we can have a look at the weather conditions here as well. And plenty of rain. It's going to be plenty of rain this evening at Suzuka. Plenty of rain. So this radar shows the current trend of the last 60 minutes, and it kind of goes to the current time. Might give a bit of an idea of what to expect this evening. So as we can tell, if we look at the current time there, it's going to be heavy rain, but not chronic. Not chronic rain, but still be very confident to start the intermediates. But I'm sure most will be on the wets, and they'll be trying to race as close as they can whilst keeping a very, very close eye on the weather radar to see if there's any opportunity to jump in the intermediates. The intermediates are definitely race. First couple of laps will be pretty wild. I assume through the first couple of sectors of the track as well will be very, very tricky for everyone to play a race. Race hard, race clean. Hopefully no incidents, hopefully no one in the gravel trap. Hopefully better than lap 1 in today's earlier Formula 1 race at Suzuka as well. You see local man Denny Rick and Alex Albon put in a tyre barrier. So hopefully none of that this evening. If they can get through the first 19 corners here at Suzuka and hopefully last the rest of the race here. So watch out for the AstroTurf, the wet curbs. So huge achievement by JW, currently leading the Formula 2 Championship and puts it on pole for WTC. Von Duvain and JW will have an opportunity here to stack some more points on in for WTC's chase to perhaps win a team championship. Just as we're counting down to the start of the race here this evening, we'll just quickly roll through the Drivers' Championship order at the moment. So Hamza leading the Formula Track Stars Championship at the moment, followed by Ward in P2 for Rusty Nuts Racing. And Von Duve running out the top 3 for WTC, followed by Patasso in 4th, Josh Green in 5th, Sandwich in 6th, Matt Campbell for CP Motorsports in 7th, Doswell in 8th for Mash Spuds Racing, Reed in 9th for Kiwi Pit Lane, and 10th is Scott for WRT Motorsport. I think that's Nick Scott it is, rounding out the top 10. So Hamza with 3 of the 4 wins at the moment has 100-point lead over Ward, 100-point sharp actually I should say over Ward at the moment. So Nick Patasso, our favourite admin here at Track Stars, has announced that they're about to start the race. So we'll have to see if everyone can keep it clean. So it looks like everyone's lined up on the grid now. We'll have to line it up and see how we go. Space out and off we go. Walk with a great start by Hamza. Initial second phase was really good. Don't know if Jenna will quite too hard, but has hit the seat second spot at the moment. Hope to see if everyone gets through here nice and cleanly. Remember they've got the AstroTurf of the curve to make it really hard. There'll be a lot of tiptoeing here. So JW's fighting on the moment. Drivers elected to use traction control as well. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout in these conditions. But Breeder, we've already had an incident with Breeder. Breeder unfortunately dropped down to 13th at the moment, and Curry front aero damage here. So I'm not going to get a replay here at all, but front aerodynamic damage to Curry, and he's struggling to keep on the road. This is massive. The Rusty Nuts Racing chase for the team championship. Nick Curry's already a 2-time podium sitter in the 3 races race, but as we continue at the front of the field, Hamza just half a second or so in front of JW, but whatever Costantino train is filling up to the top positions at the moment. So Hamza, JW, Ward and Green already in the pack. Well, one is back here as well, so that is a big chunk of cars down, like quite half all the way down. See what happens to Patasso as well. Looks like he's dropped a few positions as well. Palmer and Big Knife already up in the 5th position. Under qualifying, he's got to fit down the order. Looks like the 4th here is looking pretty tough move. Wolf, but he's into the overtake, so he's very careful here. High speed along his left-hander here. And they're close off the back up the connect keep on the road, and they do. He's quite happy to concede position though. Race here rather than a good opportunity to make some points for WTC race and show the team championship. Now, Josh Green will be looking to make possible with the narrow line there, and he's the overtake. That's amazing. Green has changed the lead, so forward. That's jumped up to the lead. aggressive, goes deep onto the AstroTurf. Does he concede position? Yes, he does. But now front ball to his teammate, him Campbell. Can he take a narrow line on the inside? Perhaps going to be overtake in the move done. We'll have to see what Chase thinks and see how hard these CP motorsport drivers can go. Yeah, doesn't make the moves that concedes and happy to take the traditional racing ball. It's just a bad share of these conditions. So, good job there by the teammates in the screen and that team. It's really good race to go. After the best qualifying session, already up into P3 and in the intermediate. So, all the drivers in the intermediates, including his teammate Humps, who's now slipped down to 8th position. He's making those intermediates clicks. Humps up after qualifying front row. Main Stapleton down to 8th position. So maybe more to the story there for Humps up. Those who have damage, anything like that by Parla already up in the P3. Slowly and surely shut down that gap down. Well, that would be fantastic for the Diamonds as he position finish. Straight up. JW's off the track there. JW's actually gone onto the soft tyre, excuse me. Intermediate. I was a bit of a contest there, but JW onto the soft tyre, so it'll be key, will be very important. As the track is drying up on your first couple laps, that you just hit your markers and don't go to exploring track limits too much early on. As we can see here, you know the track is drying up. You see the difference between the intermediate and wet tyre. So Palmer rapidly closing in on board. He's just up ahead, almost half a second. Those last quarters there. Finish the third sector. So it looks like as the track is drying up, there's some calls here to get on the racing tyre on the soft rubber. As the rule changes right in front of us, I didn't even catch myself. I'm not even racing, so you can definitely tell how quickly it is drying up. It's a really nice shot here. So it looks like he's been able to recover a bit. Drying conditions, it's now that goofy on Campbell, it doesn't make a dive. Backs out. So wow, it's all pretty much happening early on here at the moment. The orders will shut around quite a bit. So it looks like one of the Scott brothers there, WRT, is running a 5th and Sandwich, running a very consistent and safe game. They're in 6th position after qualifying on the last row. So Sandwich did a really good job to push it up into 6th position at the moment, followed by his teammate Breeder, who had an off and had a similar start there to Curry, running behind his teammates in the pit lane. He's 6th and 7th position currently. Track position at the moment. There's a big slide there. You have to say that rapidly running out. So you see those wet tyres. Liquidation there just on the left hand corner of your screen. Starting as Hamza does follow. So while JW's off there, he's been able to make up that big time and into the overtake as well. So massive undercut here. Now Palmer on Hamza, probably look to some of the runners behind them. Palmer with a big slide on exit, they're going to have to be really careful on exit here. Oh, and there goes Ward. Ward, massive spin here, and Palmer as well. They're both off. Massive scenes here on pit exit. Just goes to show I have to take it really easy. What do we try to find a way around Palmer? Wow. Pit exit, I've done it myself many times. It's just the flow state of how you can race on that went tire. We had a lofty green. Not too sure if that was dirty air there or just a bit too hard to catch the exit. But they're racing really hard here. Palmer's off as well now. Driving really hard to maintain position there. The front mirror damage as well. That's a big shame there for Palmer. He got an incredible start to the race there. Come off with front aerodynamic. Jesus, it's really spicing up here. A lot of the drive choice will adapt now to the racing, proper racing tyre and drying conditions. Damage, we've got people racing the values of this. We've got people spinning out, we've got people back to red. Hurry's off. This guy, he did mention he hasn't really had too much practice. Not too sure there what's happened to Curry, but DNF there for Curry, so unfortunately with the crash there, too much heavy damage to the car, was unable to finish the race, and JW off the track himself as well. JW pace, but consistency is another tool here, so Hamza, the immediate beneficiary of Ward and Palmer's off early on the race. Really unfortunate for Palmer to get damage. So Ward currently P3 is pretty lucky not to pop any damage there, but Palmer front arrow into the tyre battery. So we have a lot of people struggling to keep cars on the road at the moment. Oswell's another offer there at the moment. I can tell you right now, I'm just going to scrap this up. Probably lift off a bit, maybe just get on the gas a bit later. Everyone is having issues on the road, except for JW. Only 20 seconds. 20 seconds starts Hamza. Many people have been using it too much, especially in those conditions. Really just ride it up massively. Almost crystallise it. Bounce to the bus. Normal racing here, but still don't count on any rain later on in the race. Very much would be a chance here. I think we'll do as well. Milo's fuel, which intensity really dangerous when it's still a bit more shrouded track. It doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to these racing stuff. Might just run through the order now after fails here. Let's just settle down. About 10 here with the Japanese Grand Prix, around 5 before the track starts. We have JW on debut, as mentioned before, for WTC Racing. He's leading the Hamza, but Hamza is closing in. He's taking a few more seconds out, which is pretty impressive in the last lap or so. Despite JW having a quick lap of the race, and JW holding out P1 followed by Championship stay out of trouble in the early phase, considering Josh Green, who's probably had one of the unluckiest runs I've ever seen with my bare eyes over the last few races, at the ultimate pace to consistently contend for podiums over the last 4 or 5 races. He's had really, really bad luck, so to get out of trouble there for the most part, unlike some of his other racing counterparts, would be very happy to be pretty consistent position in P6 and doesn't go for central as well. So I do know Josh Green has the pace this evening. Followed by one of the Scut brothers for WRT Racing in 7th position. That's a fantastic running for them at the moment on the race as well. To have to see Prix in 7th position there, but very, very good position. Followed by Breeder in 8th for first of Kiwi pit lane runners. So Breeder's had a bit of an unlucky season, similar to Josh Green as well. Had some good pace early on in qualifying this evening as well. Missing away from Milky for WRT, so we'll have to see Breeder jump into P7. Looks like it might be a healthy battle brewing at the moment. And as I say that, I don't know if that's commentator's curse or something like that, but goes heavily wide. Heavily wide, just hit the outside there on corner exit. Hard steering left there, full lockdown, just no grip. The AstroTurf lights here, especially when it's been raining in the early phase of the race. But no damage as well, so really lucky there to pull the tyre back out. So this is down one position, but nothing that himself and Sandwich. It's like followed by Sandwich, who is in 9th position. So that's a big improvement for Sandwich for his qualifying position. Very on the hunt again for another top 10 finish, followed by Palmer. So there's been a change of position here a bit as well. What's happened there? Ollie just quite rolled out over there for Nick, so maybe a bit of teamwork here. Palmer and Carr, so teamwork, both caught up in some very unlucky scenes early on in the race. Carr went off early at the end towards actually during the first lap of the race. Palmer, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, very unlucky exiting pits with Ward as they were exiting pits on the racing tyre and both spun. Palmer has just caught in now and he's coming into now. He's lost control of the car, but was battling for do about half to hold it. Front arrow damage was very lucky to not get any damage from his spin. And as I do mention, the clip-on Duvet has made the move. Maybe there's been something, but I just some water has dropped down the fifth, so damage there for Wood. His last lap was 146, so 8 minutes. So maybe he's just going to run that. See what the target convention is like. If he's off tyre, can't last majority of the rest of the race, and he doesn't lose too much track position. Maybe it's master stretch to win, so might not have the ultimate pace here, which again he's just lost position. Don't quote me on that one. Don't quote me on that one. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I've tried in my own time. So probably, we'll let that one take it. An absolute masterclass. A couple laps through the 41s. And that's just something like a 40 here. Those last 5 or 6 laps or so. Something that's intriguing me at the moment is the fact that those soft tyres, he's still going very quick, he's going very fast. Still looks pretty good there in the mid corner, which is so important in that technical section there. The more grip you have in the mid corner, the earlier you can get on the gas on corner exit and make up a chunk of time. So kind of interesting how he's driving the car here in some parts. Shifts up to 6th gear there on that right hander on approach to the hairpin here. Lower RPM kind of gives you a bit more grip in the rear tyre. A breeder coming in with front error and suspension damage. Curious about here, changing tyres, but does he get back on the softs or does he do a medium or a hard? Because I think the series on the softs, because I think this tyre strategy here by Ward on the hard tyres is really fascinating me, because he doesn't have the pace, and I think maybe Hamza might have even jumped him from what I saw. He's still ahead of Hamza. We'll have to see what that gap is if we're able to see how Ward's tracking on lap times as well. So he's in the 130, so he's just hanging around the 140s, and he's just done his quickest there with 1 minute 49. Just over a second ahead of Hamza, which is main championship rival at the moment. So, and those tyres looking pretty healthy. As the fuel tank comes down, we'll probably get even quicker. Might be able to start getting the 1 minute 30s. Not too sure. But this is very, very intriguing for me, because I do feel as though if he can keep on the road, he doesn't have to fight too hard. He knows everyone else is probably on the soft tyre for the most part. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't get damaged and push it too hard, as we've already seen a bunch of drivers already this evening get damaged. If you can make it work and the heavens open up again and it starts to rain, you won't be doing an extra, excuse me, just had him over there. But he won't have to make another pit stop, and that might shoot him up to the order. We'll have to see, but track position still is important here. So right here on board with Hamza. Definitely tell how aggressive he is through this technical section here. Not much braking, a lot of throttle, mostly in 4th gear here, and picking up a lot of time here. Yellow flags ahead here for Hamza. Looks like Ward's had a bit of a tank slapper there, but Josh Green, as I was commending his consistency this evening after a tough run over the last few races, which I'm telling you right now, his points in the points table don't nearly replicate his ability on track, has had another moment here. It's dropped down to 6th position. It looks like he's been able to hold it ahead of Milky in 7th. So that's unlucky for Green. I did not see if he had any damage, but we'll have to stay on board here with Hamza. As it looks to close this move on board, he's into the overtake. So we'll look for the move down here in the last chicane. Hopefully get it done cleanly, if it's possible. He stays off the overtake now. He might be thinking it's a bit too dangerous to make a move here at the moment, a bit too risky. Perhaps lining up a move here, approaching turn 1 and 2. Ward with a pretty good exit there, but with the grip that Hamza has, was able to make that up straight away. So I've noticed Ward is pretty good on corner exit here, but how close can Hamza get? You're definitely telling the braking as he closes right up there into the braking zone, approaching turn 2. Almost a bit too close, got up under 0.2 of a second there, but it's stretched that over half a second now, up to 0.7 now. So that's tyre degradation difference there for your tyre compound, the hard to the soft tyre. So a case of combination of Ward braking bit earlier to compensate for the tyre, and Hamza braking extremely late for the abilities that this racing softs can give you. As we head up to the podium positions at the moment, Matt Campbell, running in P3, has thrown himself right up here, challenging for P2 provisionally at the moment with Von Duve. So tyres looking a bit unhealthy. However, a bunch of 1 minute 39s there, and he's not too far away. Right up here, the apex of the corner. Does he make the move stick? And with ease. I think Von Duve made that a bit easier for him as well. But Campbell, pretty aggressive move down the inside. And Von Duve on the medium tyre as well. So that tells a bit of a tale as well. And Von Duve, noticeably, has used a fair bit of overtake. So might become vulnerable to him later on in the race. That does depend whether it rains or not. So Matt Campbell, CP Motorsports, currently up into P2 at the moment on those racing softs. It's pushing quite hard, and it's a really good performance from Matt Campbell already. Qualified well, stayed out of trouble. Bit of a tussle with his teammate earlier on as well, and he's thrown himself up into P2. But JW continues to enjoy clear air and not much pressure, and a 30-second lead. He is absolutely showing the main boys he had to do it so far this evening. Lap times aren't falling away too much though. You can see he's into the below 1 minute 39s. I think once he starts hitting the 1 minute 40s, low 1 minute 40s, he might have to think about changing tyre. But he's in definitely no rush here to pit, and he's also in no rush to really push the car that hard as well. If you can save the tyre just a little bit, it might open up him another chance to jump on the softs again for another stint. And if he's able to stretch the tyre out a bit more and go just with one more stop on the softs, I really can't see him losing the race at all, unless if there's any rain or any other damage that he might get, which he hasn't so far. I did notice Hamza did say in the chat prior to the race start that he did say JW was his alternative count. It's not a bad shout considering he's putting on a Hamza-esque drive so far. To Palmer, unlucky there earlier on pit exit. Currently closing up to the group here of Sandwith and Scott, holding down 7th and 8th at the moment. His tyre's a little bit warm, but still got a bunch of laps in him to go, and it's approaching his group pretty quickly. Have to see what he can do, so he'll be dirty with himself with that move. And Sandwith, a big move here on the inside, gets it done, and comfortably as well. Really had to throw it in there. Scott runs wide there on corner and drops another position, so 2 positions gone. The WRT runner. So now, a bit of a free pass there for Palmer, and now vulnerable to Breeder, the other Kiwi pit lane racer. He does currently hold the quickest lap of the race for the 3 laps in a 1 minute 37. So Breeder currently the fastest car on track by at least a couple seconds. If Breeder was doing this pace towards the front of the field, it'd be very hard to catch right now. And not using too much overtake, so Breeder currently and easily the quickest car on track. So we'll have to keep an eye on Breeder's progress if he can keep it sharp and clean here and prevent any more unforced errors, or perhaps even forced errors that we've already seen a few incidents already this evening. So now Breeder just under 2 seconds away from Palmer, whilst Palmer does have a look here on Sandwith. Makes up just 2/10 or so on entry there, but on exit, pretty average exit there for Palmer. And Sandwith is able to get some time back, but seems to have plateaued there for the time being. So I have to see if Palmer can close up to Sandwith. Sandwith, Main's racing debut in the Formula Series and Main's all-time debut for himself with the new team entry of Kiwi Pit Lane Racing. running a really good campaign at the moment. Sandwich, who's currently running 6th in the championship outright. Definitely turning eyes with his drive so far. See Palmer, who was red hot at the end of last season's touring cars, swept up a couple enduro wins, finished P2 in the championship behind his very fast teammate in Hamza. He'll be looking to climb back up the order after Palmer missing a couple races. Actually, sorry, missing one race here. Palmer currently 14th in the championship, and Breeder, as I'm talking about this, rapidly catches up and looks on the inside there. Showed the nose, and spins. Oh, Breeder! Massive save there. He's going to have to get on the overtake now to hold position. Might not be worth his time. And again, Scott, WRT racer, as I've mentioned in previous broadcasts, really doesn't like using the overtake. Free bottle of nitrous oxide or extra ponies, whatever you want to call it, and elects not to use it. So that definitely intrigues me. But anyway, Breeder showed the nose there on Palmer. It was a bit of a late move. He probably could have pulled it off, but it was a high risk, high reward move, but elected to not commit, and then on corner exit just got a little bit loose. So that's really unfortunate there for Breeder. He easily is the quickest car on track at the moment. Just checking with Ward, P4, and he has done his fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 39 on the hard tire. And as I mentioned, that JWR race leader with a comfortable margin coming in here to get off the soft tire. So still comfortably running into the 1 minute 39. So, but elects to jump off the tire, and so this will really intrigue me to see where he's in comparison. Very healthy margin there. So Von Duve not quite over the start-finish line yet. So as he comes across the line now to see what the gap is. Wow. And I have to say at this point, his JW's to lose at the moment. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen, do not count out the wet weather just yet. So Duve on the medium tyre, running for the most part in the 1 minute 40s. He's snuck into 1 minute 39.9 there, but mostly in the 140s. By Von Duve, I'm assuming when he does jump in the pit lane, he will be on the soft tyre and he will be able to go very fast. So he's benefiting from clear air. Hamza on the soft tyre. It's just a 1 minute 38 there for the last few laps. It's a nice shot here we have. Might be a good opportunity to go through the order here, but looks like there's a bit of a gap there between Ward and Green. So Ward doing a fantastic job here in the hard tyre. So despite getting jumped by Hamza, only 6 seconds away, and those tyres are still doing a good job. He's actually running similar lap times to what Von Duve is, who is on the medium tyre. So that's a very, very interesting call there. So with Ward on the hard tyre, does he go the rest of the race on the hard tyre? Very interesting indeed. We'll just continue to run through the order. So we're checking with Josh Green and Palmer. We're having a bit of a healthy battle before, and Breeder was involved as well, but looks like Green is about a second and a half, so it looks like Palmer's been able to alleviate the pressure from Sandwich. And Breeder, again, under a second away from Palmer, so Breeder is driving the wheels off that thing. This is a stark contrast compared to the start of the race, because So the race was absolute chaos, however. It's all dried up now and everyone's back into a normal routine here. So we might just go on board with Breeder here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just take a quick little break. We'll just stay on board for a lap or so, and we'll keep an eye here. Breeder, racer for Kiwi, pit lane. Can he catch up to Ryan Palmer here in P6? We'll have to find out. So just hang around, guys. We'll take a short break, run on board for a lap, and we'll be back with you shortly. Another spin on corner exit here, going under the bridge. I can't tell if he's got damage or not. Just trying to see if it's glowing there. It's a bit vague on my end. I think that might be a flashing. Campbell has a look on the inside here. A couple of tyres there in the dirt, but makes the move stick. So Breeder having a very unlucky run here at the moment. Has some very solid pace, some very, very good pace, but a few little errors here has cost him dearly. So it's very unlucky there for Breeder with front aerodynamic damage. So we'll have to see if he turns to pit lane for perhaps maybe some medium tyres, but we'll have to see what the call is made there for Breeder. Looks like we have Josh Green entering the pits now. Heavily worn soft tyres here, so perhaps maybe he'll jump on the medium tyre now and run it to the end. Green having a good run here this evening. A couple little mishaps here, but more or less pretty good considering the last few races he's had. So that's really good there by Josh Green to keep it tidy. And Breeder does jump in the pit lane here as well to fix that front aerodynamic damage there. So that's a massive shame there for Breeder. Massive shame. So he'll put on some fresh rubber and he'll probably see this one to the end here. See what tyre it puts on. Back onto the soft tyre. Probably not a bad call here, to be honest. So just over 15 laps to go here this evening's race. So it seems that things have settled here. Still some tyre degradation and some tyre things happening at the moment. But it seems as though that Ryan Palmer will definitely have to transfer pit lane. Those racing tyres are looking, have seen better days. They've definitely seen better days, that's for sure. But still doing a reasonable pace here. That last lap was a 1 minute 41. And now Hamza, his teammate, with front aerodynamic damage and suspension on the right-hand side as well, which you do not want around at this track. Hamza with damage. Huge scenes here. Championship leader and his teammate, both in pits. This promotes Ward into P3. So we currently have a WTC still at this point in time of 1-2. followed by Ward still churning around on the hard tyre. So has this been a masterstroke call for Ward? Jumping on the hard tyre and just running it till the end. Sacrificing pace for track position for a tyre longevity advantage, and Ward looks like he's played the patient game to a T here, and we'll have to see with Ridwan just over 20 seconds behind Ward on some very clean, very tight and very fresh tyres. With roughly 15 laps to go, can Hamza reel in a 20-second gap? And considering the difference in lap time, probably not a bad shout, but looks like Ward's about to do another PB here as he did on lap 24. So with that fuel tank continuing to come down, despite the less grippier but trustier tyre, does 1 minute 39.2. So if Ward can keep up this trend of running around in the 1 minute 39s, I think he's going to be okay for maybe at least a P4. But Hamza over 1 lap already. He's taken half a second out of Hamza. Sorry, taking a half a second. He can't take half a second out of himself, can he? He's taken half a second out of Ward. There we go. Half a second out of Ward. So not too far away at all. 19 seconds is a fair way, but I think it's not a bad shout that he could maybe catch up. Regardless, I think the podium position chase is going to be very, very close. I just check in with Von Duve, and his medium tyres are definitely seen better days. It's a little bit off the pace here, Von Duve is. Running P2, which is still a fantastic shot for the man currently holding down P3 in the championship. So we'll have to see if he hangs on or if he makes the call to jump onto some new rubber. So he's roughly over a 20-second or so gap over Ward. No, over Ward, sorry, over Hamza. A little bit more than that. So can he afford to jump into pit lane and put the soft tyre on? I think he could, but it's still risky. So we'll have to see what Von Duve does, if he does travel the rest of the way on this medium tyre. Just see some people jumping out of the room there. Looks like Von Duve's done a 1 minute 39 there, so that's good pace for him. So we'll have to see if he can keep that up. So Hamza climbing that gap down quite considerably. So in that next lap there, he's taken 2 seconds out. So we'll have to see what Hamza does here. 1 minute 37. So if the trend keeps up like this, I think it's going to get very close indeed. As we run through the order, it looks like Sandwith up into P5 with some very, very fresh tyres. So Palmer did have to pit earlier. Puts a new rubber on, but Sandwith jumped onto the soft tyre. And he's looking very cozy P5 at the moment, which Kiwi Pit Lane boys will be wrapped with that. But we have a very fast, determined, rapid, forward eyebrow racer here in Palmer for its FR Racing, holding down P6 with the freshest tyres on track, along with his teammate, and he'll be looking to get by Sandwith if he can. Not much overtake available, but he might have to rapid pace to be able to get around him. He's closed that gap up a fair bit just in that technical part of the circuit just there. So 6-7 tenths away now. And to see if he can line a move up now. Not too much overtake available, and Sandwith plenty available with him as well, so he'll be able to defend well. We'll have to see how aggressively Sandwith does defend his position. And Von Duve, as I was mentioning before with the tyre, elects to jump into pit lane. Probably not a bad call. Unfortunately, won't be able to make those medium tyres last any longer. So what that will do now, we'll hand Hamza P3. So Hamza does jump him in all of that. But keep in mind, Hamza is on the race for P2 as well. So if Von Duve can stick with him under a second, or over a second now, if he can stick with him and roll with him, maybe both these boys have an opportunity to to put the pressure on Ward. So I might just run through the order for you again, guys, because you have seen some of the usual runners towards the front and topping in the mid-pack struggle down the order here. So we do see the CP boys running in 7th and 8th at the moment. Only a second between them, so they've been pretty close together this evening, both Green and Campbell. So they've been managing that well, and as I'm saying, that Green goes purple in that current sector there, and he's hard on the overtake, so maybe he wants the fastest lap to his name, but he's still not too far away from Sandwith. And as I noticed, that looks like Palmer has made the move on Les. They might be pretty close up here, but Sandwith and Palmer trade positions. Just look further up the road there. Palmer's probably put almost a second on him now. And Palmer's a bit too far away to challenge Von Duve. But still, a P5 would be really good for him as him and Hamza start to charge towards the front in the team's championship. That'll be pretty hard to do as Palmer, as I'm looking at that gap to the race leader, Wolf, currently, as I've mentioned earlier in the broadcast, a Formula 2 championship leader, is in P1 by a very, very, very long, very big margin. So this man has put on an absolute clinic this evening as one of the early stoppers to jump onto the racing tyre. He got onto that racing soft and he put down the overtake and he pushed hard and only had one off, but managed to do a really sensible job and undercutted everyone big time, built that gap, and it's just stayed the same for the most part. So it seems as though as JW got one hand on tonight's victory already on debut, so that'll be something massive if he can do that on debut in the mains series. I don't think there's a lot of drivers that have been able to manage to do that, to win on debut in the mains division for their first time. And Wolf is an unknown face in the community, quite new to the community. Seems to be a British guy. we don't know too much about the bloke yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll all come out because he's definitely turning heads with his ability. Not only on one lap pace, but for me, it's just the racecraft and the presence of mind to call the strategy as he has done this evening, to jump on the normal racing tyre after it was hailing down with rain early on the start of the race, and to make that call and to stick on the road. He's benefited from a massive undercut. So Batasso, the main man, the main spud, currently in P11, who had an impressive qualifying performance early in the evening, just struggled a bit this evening. So Batasso is 4th in the championship, currently running in P11. So we haven't been able to see much of Nick this evening, unfortunately. Just a few errors to hit the pit lane with damage and a few tussles with his teammate as well, and this part of the pack, and unfortunately we just haven't been able to see what he's been able to do. Tasso is very good and very talented in the wet, but we just haven't been able to see it, unfortunately. And his teammate Doswell currently running in 12th position at the moment. So the MSR boys, Batasso and Doswell, in 11th and 12th, just haven't been able to show their hand tonight, but absolutely don't count them out. We've seen already very impressive performances by Batasso and the returning Doswell and Oldman, the next to the Scott boys, in 13th and last position at the moment. And we did mention earlier on as well, Curry, unfortunately, with the mechanical DNF, car had a few issues, already down a lap at the end of lap 3, and unfortunately he's had to park the car up and hasn't been able to finish the race. But his teammate at Rusty Nuts Racing in Ward, currently in P2, 7 seconds ahead of Hamza now, so that lead, that 20-second gap he had after Hamza come out of the pits, has cut down considerably, so he might be able to catch up to Ward a lot sooner than what I anticipated. And I thought it was intriguing play by Ward to jump on the hard tyres immediately, and I think it was actually a really good call, very bold call. But I think he might be vulnerable to Hamza, and there's a good chance maybe he might be vulnerable to Von Duve. So definitely no signs of wet weather on the track at all. So all that is completely gone. So that is not a factor at all. As we see Sandwith making a move around the outside here of Green. Can he keep him close to the apex? And you see he gets that move done, and he can't get it done, unfortunately. It is absolutely a realistic move to get the move done on the outside there. It's going to make sure the car on the inside, you're keeping them as narrow to the outside lane as you possibly can without forcing them off the track, and they'll be forced to roll out of it. So Sandwich might have the pace over Green here. We'll have to see what he does, but Green is already a second or so half up the road now from some Sandwich, so I'm not too sure if that was a trading position or if that was Sandwich going for an overtake, but Josh Green's last lap was a 1:39, so maybe that was an error on the lap previous, but still a really good solid outing here again for Sandwich, who's running P6 in the championship. And his teammate Breeder, who's actually been able to recover the P8. So Breeder, probably the quickest car on track in terms of outright race pace. You can just see there on the timing chart there off to the right hand side of your screen, below the track map. Bunch of 1:37s there, so he's driving. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. This guy is very, very fast. So it's a shame we haven't been able to see that turn into a really good result for him, but you can definitely tell how quick he is, and we'll just have to hope we can see. I think he's definitely quick enough and definitely good enough to be able to get at least a race win or more this season. Just have to make sure that he gets it stitched up in qualifying. But very, very consistent pace, and that consistent pace is fast. So I think Breeder might have a bit more show. Maybe it might be able to make another position or two, but Campbell currently running in P9. I did notice that he was with his teammate early on. So Campbell currently in P9, was running towards the top 7 and 6 for most of the evening. So it looks like been a bit of a falter there in the lap times. You see him 1:42 there, a few laps prior. So maybe an error again, which seems to be the theme for this evening. Seems to be a lot of issues here with consistency. Well, I guess that does breed consistency issues when there's been a lot of rain, but despite it drying up, we've seen a few mistakes from the drivers. So the change of conditions have really thrown the drivers here in the deep end, and which has been entertaining to watch, I'll tell you that. It's really, really, really good racing despite the chaos and the damage and the tyre deg and the strategy call and the stress and all that, and it's been really, really good so far. So now Hamza looking down on his main championship rival so far this season, Ward. Just over a second away with 8 laps to go. I think the sooner you get this move done, the more comfortable we'll be towards the end of the race. I thought Von Duve wasn't too far off the mark as well, but looks like he's a bit far off Hamza at the moment. So Hamza will be looking to get the move done here, so we might just stay on board here with Hamza and see how he orchestrates his move to get around Ward. You can definitely tell there's a grip advantage, especially there on corner exit. Probably a bit too far away here at this hairpin, but can you get the move done soon? Hamza now on the overtake. We'll have to see how hard Ward defends. Goes around the outside here and comfortably, no fight there. And Ward being narrowed to the inside of the track there, doesn't have as much runoff room there, so probably had to lift a little bit. And just from that compromised corner entry and exit from the overtake, has already lost a second to Hamza. So Ward will now be, with a fair bit of overtake left on board, mind you, he will be fighting very hard here to hopefully hold off Von Duve, who's just under 6 seconds away now. Still a bit of a possibility that Von Duve will be able to catch him, but maybe a little bit too little too late. But still massive props here for Ward to make that one stopper last and jump on the hard tyre and run long, and I think it's a brilliant call. He might have not had the pace of Hamza and Wolf and some of the others. Still in the mix, but maybe just a little bit off. So to call this one stopper, run along the hard tyre, very bold, very brave, and ultimately at this rate, perhaps maybe reward him a P3, and Von Duve might be too far away to make that time up. So he definitely is lapping quicker than Ward, but Ward Von Duve just has to bring out the very best of what he's got underneath him. And there's a very strong possibility he might be able to jump in, but we'll have to wait and see. Also do have to mention Palmer running in P5, a fantastic recovery for Palmer. He's probably gone into pits too many times than he would have probably liked to repair a broken car and broken suspension and broken aerodynamics on the front of his car, especially that front wing, seen better days. However, ultimate skill and ultimate pace has brought him back up into the top 5, and as I did mention before, very handy points for him. However, Josh Green, not too far away, in slipstream range. I was going to say overtake range, but however, Josh Green, not much on board there, but I think regarding all things, if Josh Green does finish where he is at the moment, I think that's a really good shout for him, considering the luck he's had. But probably maybe even the P5 here. He's got on the toe there big time, but just not close enough to make the move. Definitely one of those sections of the track where even if you show the nose and make a half attempted, half feinted move, you'll compromise the corner exit big time. So good there by Josh Green to roll out of it, but he's on the overtake here. Palmer takes a narrow line. Josh Green, a good chance here to get done on the outside, tries to go on the inside, but Palmer shuts the door quite hard. So it was really good defending there by Palmer and really clean by Josh Green to ensure there wasn't any contact. I thought there might have been front to rear contact, but that doesn't seem to be, because that would have been devastating for both drivers if there was contact. But it seems as though they've got it done cleanly, and Josh Green being stuck in that dirty air loses a few more tenths to Palmer again. So Josh Green will have to see if he can get back in the toe range, in the slipstream range, and maybe try and up and move again, especially towards the back straight here. But he's a good chance here. And as I'm covering this, ladies and gentlemen, if you look up the order, it looks like Hamza has made the move on board for P2 overall. Or was it, did he already get around him? He did already get around him. Maybe Myers, I thought that might have been Von Duve, but yes, sorry, my bad. Von Duve has definitely closed the gap here. So I was skeptical whether he was going to be able to get close enough or not with enough laps left here this evening, but only a few seconds away, and the pace is looking pretty reasonable. I think there's a very strong chance he might be able to catch up to Ward. So soft tyres looking good, cars looking good. Meanwhile, we'll go back down here to battle for 5th and 6th, and Green again gets in the slipstream range, but isn't close enough to make the move. So looks like Green definitely has him in the back third of the track, and no overtake here to be able to get close enough and then make that move stick. So, and he looks on the inside, shows the nose, gets a bit of a slide there and into the grass. Seriously unlucky for Green there. Yeah, he's definitely keen to get the move there done. He's just trying to get on the gas there to ride with him, but a bit dirty air and probably not as much traction and room on the track to get the power down, and just slid a bit. So really good defending here by Palmer. He's making him work for it. So these two having a brilliant battle at the moment for P5 and P6 at the moment. So it seems like the order down the bottom 8 here is stabilised at the moment. So it looks like the Kiwi pit lane boys are 7th and 8th. Looking pretty comfortable where they are at the moment, but the battle here for the last spot on the podium is going to spice up as Hamza does the quickest lap of the race, but might be too little too less for him, as I've mentioned before, and I will again, because it's pretty hard to ignore and it's pretty hard to turn your eye away from Wolf, the man leading Formula 2 and filling in for Ando this evening, currently leading the race over, you can see the gap right there, Von Duve, accomplished main game driver, currently third in championship with 50-second lead over his teammate. So, huge accomplishment for Wolf. So only a few more laps for him to go, and if he can hold on to it, that would be a massive achievement. Anyway, as I mentioned about one WTC driver on debut, the other one, Von Duve, familiar face, is definitely down here to throw down with Ward for the last spot on the podium. So we have P2, P3 and P4 currently the top 3 in the championship. So Wolf definitely throwing a spanner in the works here in terms of how the point system works out. You might have a few more appearances here and there depending on Ando's schedule, but definitely when you have drivers come in and finish well in the race, regardless if it's Formula 2 or Formula 3 as well, and they get a good result, but they don't race too much in that division, it definitely plays a part in how the points play out, because the gap in between positions doesn't become as large as you run down the order. So it might be even more important for Von Duve to maybe, if he can, get the move done on Ward, but Ward is doing a fantastic job on that hard tyre at the moment. Maybe a possible driver of the evening for me if he can hold down P3. But it's just very vulnerable here in the slipstream. You can see there how much Ward caught up onto the back of Ward there. Nearly 2/10 there, but Ward's very strong there on the mid-corner part. Von Duve has a grip, but he's going to use the overtake here now. So Von Duve looking to get in the slipstream, hangs around the outside, doesn't have the overlap though to stay there. So probably a little bit too far away to make that move stick, but now they're very close now. So we did see Josh Green struggle to drive in proximity with Palmer before, had an off despite the speed advantage. But Von Duve also has a grip advantage, so can Von Duve get the move done? And Ward, something very odd happened there. Not too sure what happened there. Did he roll out of it or something like that? Ah, right, okay. Couldn't even tell there, I just saw his screen and he was driving slow, so. But yeah, so the move is done. So Von Duve for WTC Racing jumps into P3 and jumps to man ahead of him in the championship in P2 in Ward. So brilliant job there by Von Duve to get the move done. And looks like he'll probably stay at P3. Ward's looking like he's got a pretty healthy gap over Palmer at the moment, as long as he doesn't make too many mistakes. But a really good recovery drive here by Palmer. Not much around him at the moment. He's probably a little bit bored at the moment, I'd say, Ryan. 11 seconds up the road is Ward, and a little bit less behind him in Green. So it looks like Green hasn't been able to close up enough there to Palmer, and a 1:47 there on the previous lap by Green, and might have ruled himself out for the fight for P5. So unfortunate there for Josh Green, but still a really great drive by him considering all things, and I'm sure he'll be pretty happy to be able to finish in the position he is in at the moment. Now, Sandwith isn't too far away, only just under 3 seconds away. It might be a little bit too far, but and that rear right tyre is almost bald here, so Sandwith playing the long game here on the soft tyre. And but P7 for Sandwith provisionally at the moment. And again, Sandwith being the master of consistency and perseverance. If he can finish P7 ahead of Breeder, who has proven so far this evening to be the quickest car on track for race pace, it'll be fantastic for the boys at Kiwi Pit Lane. So it looks like on the Scut boys here, WRT, Milky, not too far off Campbell. So Campbell unlucky, probably a little bit unlucky to be running in P9 at the moment, considering his early pace and his consistency, but unfortunately hasn't been able to stitch it at the back third of this race. So currently running in P9. Not to see this gap closes up anymore, but probably not. Patasso 33 seconds away from P10. So I did mention before, the MSR boys really unlucky considering the pace that they have, and considering Patasso's put on a couple brilliant drives so far this season, especially Red Bull Ring, where I was able to fight off Hamza for the podium position. Patasso definitely has the pace, but just very unlucky this evening, and yeah, just sometimes it goes that way. I can definitely vouch for that, that's for sure. Goes to show how impressive JW Wolf has been on debut. He's 2 minutes ahead of Patasso, a very accomplished championship winning, race winning, enduro race winning driver, and a long-standing member of the Trackstars community, both administrator, racer, team owner. And if you do that on debut, that's very, very impressive. So huge shout out to JW. If he can stitch it together for the next lap and a half, be an amazing accomplishment for him. So Breeder on the back of his teammate. We have seen Breeder struggle in dirty air this evening. He's at the pace to pretty much win this race, I would say. Very keen to get around his teammate here, so these two guys have to navigate it carefully. How aggressive is Breeder, and can he keep on the road to make the move stick, and also how hard does Sandwith defend? So Breeder runs wide there, looks for a V type of corner entry there, so you know he'd brake deep and late. He'll get on the power a bit quicker, and he gets on the overtake. Ooh, I thought it might have been a bit of contact there, but gets done. So Breeder makes a move done. I thought there might have been tire-to-tire contact there, but he gets done there. So Breeder up into P7. And as we finish off the last lap now, so only a few corners here to navigate for Wolf. So an incredible drive here from Wolf. Biggest point of difference here was the first to pit on the racing tyres. Once the rain started to come down, and when he did come out on the racing tyres, it was still reasonably wet. Only had one off up in the grass during the first sector, but for the most part has kept it on the road. Had the ultimate tyre when the track dried out. Well, still 90% of the field were on the wet tyres, on the intermediate tyres as well. And Wolf, with strategy, perseverance, patience, and on debut, approaches the checkered line, and on debut wins his first race in the Trackstars Super Formula Series on debut in round 5 at the Japanese Grand Prix. A huge congratulations to him. That is a massive drive, and definitely going to turn some heads, and I'm sure there'll be some chatter in the server afterwards, because that is a brilliant drive, and by 37 seconds as well. Huge drive. So he's definitely showed the main boys how to do it this evening. The man from the UK. And Hamza had a bit of damage, struggled early on in the intermediate tyres, but recovers to actually a really good P2 considering all things said. So great performance there by Hamza to finish in a live P2. A technical P1, if you, a bit of an imposter there by JW, but still earns the win, and his teammate there in Von Duve finishes on the podium for P3, and WTC again for the most points here for round 5 as a team, and I think they've actually extended their team's championship run by looking at first glance, and Palmer and Green come across the line 5th and 6th. So Green, great drive by him, unfortunate in a few parts here, and Breeder in 7th. Probably a bit of a question mark on what if over Breeder. Incredible pace for most of the race, but just a few mistakes here and there, and Sandwith comes across the line in 8th, his teammate for Kiwi pit lane, followed by Campbell in 9th. So wow, what an incredible race here, ladies and gentlemen. Started off absolutely bucketing down. Field was on wet tyres, field was on intermediate tyres, and JW first to pit onto the racing tyres. And as the track dried, his pace went quicker, and he undercutted everyone. So incredible result there for JW, finishing P1. So it was a huge achievement there by JW to get that win this evening. So congratulations to him on the fantastic victory tonight. You can just see the order there. Where are they? Yeah, so again, as mentioned before, JW, huge win there. And Hamza in P2 with the quickest lap of the race, 1 minute 35.8. Aided a little bit there by the overtake, so that is a huge lap there. And a great result by Hamza, considering the damage he had early on. Struggled early intermediates, dropped as far back as 8th position Hamza did, but was able to use a bit of pace, skill, and climb back up to P2. And Von Duve filling out the back end of the podium there, so a huge result there by Von Duve. to be able to jump Ward, and Ward, a really impressive one-stopper there. So to jump on the hard tyre and run long, I thought that was a pretty bold, but a pretty good call at the end of the day. All things said, maybe. We'll have to see what could have happened, but Hunter did pit a few more times we probably would have wanted to. Well, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. What a fantastic race it was this evening. Oh, geez, driver of the day is pretty hard for me, but I mean, it is pretty easy to say JW. I mean, I'm going to have to say it. The man is a Formula 2 racer, and he fills in for Ando and gets a win, so that's a sensational drive by JW and the man in WTC. So that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening. Catch you next time out for round 6 of the Truck Stars Formula Series.